Okay, good evening, guys. So tonight, doing a little bit of something different to the norm. So I've got a couple of models here. I'm going to apologise in advance because I've got my little cross on the pad here, so I remember where to put the models, but I'm probably going to end up wobbling them all over the place. The camera I'm using does have an autofocus function, and I don't believe that when I'm using my live stream I can actually turn that off, which is a bit of a nuisance. But let me just spend a second getting some better lighting configured. I should have a like a spotlight on me. Hopefully that's should be good enough that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to be painting this model using all glazes, pretty much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to establish my base colours first, then we'll glaze in some shadows, and we'll glaze up some highlights. You also bust my drink open so I don't end up making too much noise later. Right, so colour scheme for Louise. Let me just grab my photo reference up on the screen. Hey, Keller, how you doing? So you said you'd be here, and you are. Man of your word. I'll tell you what, it's been chaos in our house today. The kids have, I don't know what's been going on. I don't know what's been going on with the kids in our house today, but like bedtime was absolutely insane. To the point where I ended up putting the Benny Hill theme tune on as background music because it just was the only thing that really felt appropriate. Right, Louise, where are you? I always get confused here because when, for some reason, I don't know why, so Louise has got this like massive like spiky mace. Hey, you crazy, how you doing? Yeah, Louise has got this like massive spiky mace. So she's got green hair, red bow, blue jacket, kind of a burgundy brown skirt, and then I want to say like greenish tinted armor plates and stuff, and then the green like spiky mace. So, but yeah, for some reason when she was drawn up, Alex named the file Axe Girl. I mean, it's a giant spiky mace. So I don't know what was going on with that one. Right, so I've got my paint palette here. This is the one Willow uses when she's in my office normally. Hence all the pinks and the purples and the blues and all the girly colours on here. This is her colour palette. I'm using this because I'm going to be using glazes and stuff, and it's a little bit. My other one's like just black and murky and horrible. So the other part of this was supposed to be a wet palette once upon a time, and I never use it as a wet palette. So this basically just ends up being just my dumping ground for paint, basically. So let's start getting some work on her anyway. And this is Rosaline as well, so I'm going to get her done hopefully at the same time. I'm using the sculpted bases that I've done just to help me along a little bit and make them more consistent. So the bases are they're all sculpted up and everything else. So I don't need to be doing this time around. I'm not doing any like sand and like grass tufts or anything else. None of that kind of business. And I've started by basically priming them black. So I've used the Colourforge black primer. Oh, there's a little bit of something stuck on it. Let me just grab my scalpel a second. I've seen it somewhere. It's not in my leg today, which is good. Yeah, it's just a little bit of something must have got stuck to when I was painting it. Because that's not a print anomaly, that is. That's not something that's got stuck on a paint. Yeah, so I've done the Colourforge black black primer as a base, and then gone on to a zenithal white spray. If you don't know what zenithal is, it just basically means spraying from the top down, so the white paint comes from a single direction and emulates the direction of like light on the model. So if we look at her now, you can see which areas should be in shadow and which areas should be illuminated. Now usually what you want to do at this point, this isn't going to necessarily come through in the finished paint job unless you're using contrast paints. Contrast paints, you can use the base painting, the gradient here. You can use that to affect the end product. But in order to do that, you have to keep the colours really flat when you apply them. So with contrast paints, normally you flood the whole area, and then you let the paint find the recesses and like layer it up heavy in them and stuff like that. So if you want to kind of do it this way around, you create your gradients using the grayscale painting, and then you're going to paint them on, paint the contrast paints on in a very flat, uniform layer, and then that's going to let the underpainting do the shading and the highlighting rather than the contrast paints. So you're using them in a different way. So I need to raid my brush collection. This is some of it. There's more of it here. Oh yeah, hack/AD, mate. So brushes, brushes, brushes everywhere. I'll try and find one I like to use. How are you doing tonight anyway, mate? Can't find my usual brush actually. I've got a few of these brushes. These ones actually, little interesting story. The black brushes here are actually from a company called Golden Maple. And Golden Maple produce, there's 0 there. They produce paintbrushes for other companies. So the reason I've got these paintbrushes was because at some point I've pondered. Oh, you're still at your day job. It's well, it's 10 o'clock at night here. So oh my god, I haven't got my whiskey. Oh, I meant to sit down with a whiskey tonight with this. I got a coffee instead, but so I like if I'm doing late night painting, I've normally got a whiskey on hand, but sadly not today. Next time. Yeah, so Golden Maple anyway. They do the brushes for other companies, and they're actually really good quality. So these ones are their sable brushes, and I got a bunch of them from them just to try out really and see how I get on with them. And I'm impressed, if I'm honest. The prices are pretty reasonable, and I am pondering doing a little line of brushes. Handles will be a nice kind of like Lion Tower yellow. But what I'm trying to decide is, so my usual quandary here is I've got like Artis Opus brushes here. I've got what are they called? Series 7s, Winsor & Newtons. I've got brushes from Broken Toad and stuff, and all these brushes, they're pretty pricey. And I don't like to use them. I'm almost scared to use them because of like, I don't want to ruin them. And I know when I use contrast paints, they're going to trash the brushes. If I use metallics, they're going to trash my brushes. So what I end up doing is I end up using these cheap Temu jobbies. Use the cheap Temu brushes that are like, I don't know, £6 for a pack of 12 or something like that. And I use them for most of my painting. So I've got all the expensive nice brushes, but they're too nice to use. That makes sense. Well, yeah, I know, but then if I ruin them, I've got to spend another 20 quid replacing the brush, haven't I? And it's me being a tight bastard. It's the problem. So let's get on with it anyway. So I'm going to put my base colours in first. I'm going to be using the Two Thin Coats paints from Duncan Rhodes and Transatlantis Games. Beautiful paints, really good. Great range of them as well. They've all got a little mixing board, as you can hear. And they've got a really nice range of colours. So this is Elysium Blue. Is that the right? No, that's not the right one. I've got to find a different blue. That's almost purple, that blue is. I'm saying this, I could be completely wrong. I'm colourblind, so there is absolutely every chance that that's a perfect blue for what I need. Screw it, let's go with it anyway. Elysium Blue it is. So I'm just going to put a little dab here. And I just need to paint all of the areas that are going to be blue. I'm going to use a size 1 brush. Bit of water in there. And I want this to be kind of like the base colour. This doesn't need to be completely translucent, but it does need to flow well. So I'm just going to paint in the it's called Two Thin Coats for a reason. Ironically, normally when you're watering the paints down, you want to water it down to a point where you probably need 3 or 4 thin coats, not 2. I'm doing it again. I think I'm getting in the wrong place. Right, now this is going to be auto focusing all over the place. I do apologise. That's all the blue that's on, I think, but all the other arms as well. Silly mate. So there's 3 techniques I'll use to paint these models. One of them is what I'm using now. I'm going to start with the mid-tone. And then I'm going to glaze down to the shadows, and then I'm going to glaze up to the highlights. Right, there's the blue done. Let's give the arm another coat because it's a bit weak. Now with this painting technique, you don't need to worry about getting good solid coats anywhere, because basically we're going to get such a lot of layers in there of paint that it's going to mask and hide most of your sins, which is good. I'll say it saves you worrying. Should also be quite a quick what's that, Michael? You're sculpting one of the derpiest characters from your skirmish game, Captain Arkentucky. He's a what if the Colonel from KFC gave an inbred hillbilly from the Appalachian Hills the super soldier syndrome. So he's a hillbilly Captain America, crossed with KFC. Sounds good, mate. How's the game coming along? I need a burgundy brown, like a saddle brown or something like that. Maybe boar hide might do the job. Let's go for boar hide. There's not a paint coming out the end there. So what I like to do, I mean, this time round, what I'm doing here is I'm following a colour scheme, which is prescribed by the character artwork for the game. But not every time I paint, I don't always have this. So sometimes I've got to look at it, I've got to try and like come up with my own paint scheme on the spot. And what you don't want to do is start painting, get halfway through, realise you've made a mistake and that your colours don't go. So what I tend to do is, what I'm doing right now, I'm going to put the base colour on across the entire model. So everything's going to get a stock standard coating of something. And then from that point, we're going to work on everything else then. Start getting the shadows in, and then we'll get the highlights in, and we'll bring it all together. But by painting everything in stages, it means I can see if my colour scheme works or not, and then change it before I get too far into it. At this stage, I'm not too fussed about whether or not I get paint on other parts. I just need to make sure I get everything painted, and I can always go back and touch it up later if I overspill or overshoot. Okay, is that the only bit of burgundy on there? It is. So we're going to go to some flesh tones next to a face, I think, and then we'll get the hair done and the come on, where are you? Start with dwarven skin tone here. So you're doing a bit of a rewrite on the rules to make it more fast-paced and easy to pick up. Sounds cool. Max has been doing a little bit of tweaking and refining on Crystal Collapse for us. So we've got the new like the new bit of the like solo mode all tested up now. It's looking and sounding great. And Hush Hush Secret Project, he started work on a little card game to go alongside it. So right now I am just painting everything flat. So this isn't going to look sexy at all. Not until much later. I mean, she won't look sexy anyway. She's like supposed to be a 12-year-old girl, but I mean the paint job. One of the weird things, actually, I talk to Max about this quite a lot with JRPGs. So like, you'll see like the main character's usually either a teenager or kind of early 20s, you know, so late. Usually they're on the verge of being a child, or they are a child. So like Link in most of the Legend of Zelda games has been a kid. The the crystal bearers from the original Final Fantasy games are supposed to be like a group of kids, I think. So it's all a little bit kind of mad like that. But then you'll see somebody and they call them old man. Like I can't remember his name now. The samurai guy from Tales of Vesperia. Is it Hawk? No, not Hawk, was it? I can't remember. But they call him old man all the time. And when you look at his character bio, he's like 32 or 33 or something. So like, you know, your main characters are all like 15, 16, 17, like high school age kind of thing, and then you get the old guy who's usually in his 30s. And it's damning when you're 40 and you think they're called the 30-year-old the old guy, or granddad or something like that. It gets screwed, man. Like I feel attacked. What I'm trying to do, I tell the kids this all the time. So when I'm painting, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use just the tip of the brush when I'm applying the paint. Is there a way I can stop this thing from auto-focusing? Camera's called now. Is it a D? I don't think I've got an app for it. So the autofocus is a great feature, but like it's bloody nuisance when you're trying to do something consistently. Let me just check my remote control. Flip it. I think that's it. I think I found the button that locks the autofocus. And I've lost my brush. Come on, what? Ah, it's rolled under my paint tray. Green next. I need like a jade green. It's not jade green. So this is the only problem with the Tooth and Coats paint. So like, I don't know if you can see how dark that green is that's just come out of there. And this is the bottle it came out of. The problem obviously is that the bottles are kind of slightly frosted. So they're not a true representation of the paint you're going to get out of them. It is worth, I haven't done it yet, it is worth just painting the little, like the top of the caps, so you can see what colour it actually is. Make life a little bit easier. Let's use this colour anyway. So I'm going to do the green part of the ball, which is the main part of the ball. And when I'm painting here, I want to use like a brush that's got a decently long set of bristles on it. Hey Rich, how you doing, mate? This is me painting up some Crystal Collapse like display minis to be photographed for the book, because we're running out of time and the deadlines are looming. I've just finished the last sculpt this week, or last week. So I've got to get them all printed, painted up, get them finished off. So you're getting a bonus little painting stream from me. I need to get this dude finished as well. He's the Hob King. He's mostly there. I've just got to do a lot of the bone parts and the crystals on his scepter and his crown, I think so. A few bits of stuff to go, and then I've got the little hobs. They're all painted now. I've got them in all different colours. So I've got like I've got my teal one, got my yellow one, and I can't remember what colour what my last colour was. Purple maybe. Can't reach them past all my drinks and stuff. Yeah, purple. So there you go. Just so they're all painted differently, just so when they're actually in game, you can identify which ones are which. You need to have some kind of identifier on them. Then we've got the hub archers as well. So the hub archers are again same colour schemes: purple, yellow, purple, blue, yellow, and red. So they've come out pretty nice. I'm quite happy with them. I might go in and put some like little checker patterns and stuff on them before we go for print, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. I've lost my brush again. I've put it down. I think it's rolled under my paint palette, or not. How do I feel I've done with that? Oh, I have put it under the paint palette. How are you this evening, anyway, Rich? Right, back to me green. Back to Louise. So we got green shoulder pad, green leg armor, so this one I really like the concept of Louise. I've not used her in a game yet, but as a character she's brilliant. She's basically like a young girl who is like completely infatuated with Corrado. Off to bed soon. I should be so lucky, mate, I tell you. Yeah, she's totally infatuated with Corrado. So Corrado is like the he's like the boy band kind of like heartthrob kind of thing, except he's a knight. And obviously he's got his massive great sword that he uses, and she wants to be just like her idol. So instead of using a massive great sword, she uses this giant great big oversized mace. Which is obviously all good fun. And then because she's like the little 12-year-old girl with a weapon that's like clearly bigger than she is, she hasn't exactly got the best control over it. So in game, she's swinging this thing around. She's got an attack called Meteor Strike, which basically allows you to, when you play your attack card, you normally play one card up to the value of obviously 10. And then you get modifiers that you add to it, and once you've done that, you add your, you take your number of dice that you've got. So say you've got like 3 attack dice, and you've pulled a 10 out. Without any extra modifiers, you add the 10 to your attack value. Say your attack value is 6, so you end up with a value of 16. Then we remove your opponent's defense. So say your opponent plays a 10, and then you have to roll under that total value. So in this case, the total value would be 6. So your 10 plus your 6 standard attack value, minus your opponent's value of 10. And then you've got to roll 3 dice, 3 d20s, and get under 6, or 6 or under, on each dice. And each dice you score that value on scores a hit. Now, obviously that gets a little bit, you know, hard going sometimes. You have to layer up your bonuses and your we get fate cards too. See, fate card is like a bonus where normally you get like, you know, +1 to hit, +2 to hit. For us, the fate cards do the +1s, +2s and stuff, but it's all the cards that are valued from 2 to 4. So you pull a fate card from the fate deck, and then you get between 2 and 4 points of extra kind of extra score. Cack-handed way of saying it, but you know what I'm saying. Except with Louisa and her meter strike, basically you sacrifice all the plethora of dice rolls and the multiple dice rolls and stuff, and in exchange you get to play a second card from your hand. Now it does drain your resources, but it means her basic starting value could be as high as 20 on any attack from the cards alone, and then you're going to add her value of like say 6 onto that. So you're starting with 26 before other modifiers. Now it's not unreasonable to be able to pull 3 or 4 fate cards as well, depending upon you know, skills and buffs and things like that are going on, and what we call maneuver bonuses, which is when you've got the elevation advantage or you've got the back attack going on. Okay, so everything else on it is either grey or gold, pretty much. So for the gold stuff, let's start with a mid brown, flat earth kind of thing. Dust bowl, that's it. Dust bowl is like the equivalent of flat earth in this range. So all the bits that are going to be gold, I'm just going to paint in this. So yeah, so say Louise has potentially got the option to go in with what we're talking, 20 plus 4, 36, 4, potentially 42 as her to hit score that you've got to roll under on 1 dice. Basically, she's not going to miss. You're basically getting a guaranteed hit, and that's really valuable. And obviously, although you've only got 1 dice, you've still got the opportunity to cause a critical hit. So the critical hit is like obviously worth 2 damage points. So you can double up, and all you got to do on that is just roll a 20. wanted a little tiny bit of support there that was left on. Just nick it off with the knife. Try not to block the light too much. How are the light levels, by the way, guys, for this like painting here? Is it bright enough, or should it be brighter? Do I need to surround myself with lights, or? Okay, so the other thing I'll point out here is that I've committed a long time ago to non-metallic metal on all of these Crystal Collapse models, and it's one of the things I regret doing. I'm not a big fan of painting non-metallic. I like the way it looks, but I'm not a big fan of having to paint it because you have to think more about it. I really wish I'd just gone with true metallics and just let it roll, but I didn't, so I can't. It's too late to retcon them now because I'd have to go back and paint all the metallics onto every model, and that ain't happening. So that's all the gold on the mace. Oh, she's got gold on the tips of her blade thing. I don't know what we call this, like art. Some kind of armor, isn't it? But they're almost like blade feathers or something like that. There's no story to this, by the way. There's no no explanation as to where we are with the outfit or how she's ended up wearing what she's wearing. We know she's wearing a school uniform basically because she's like 12, and because it's based on like JRPGs and they do love a school uniform. So I'm going to come in here with a darker brown to add the shading to the metallic. And also various shades of like yellow and ivory, and obviously some white in there. When I paint it in, it's quite sketchy, and there's no real, I mean, there probably is a pattern to the way I paint it, but I've not really thought about it too much. It's like I just go in and paint it. I don't tend to use painting handles. Occasionally I do. But usually if I'm painting and the kids are joining me, they commandeer the painting handles. So I've just got used to not using them. Detail at the top here of the armoury bit. Shoulder pads have a gold trim. A little bit of detailing on the top of the shoulder pad. It's also going to be gold. Can I see it on that side? Just about. Double of red. I mean a little double. just the bubble. I've impressed myself here, being quite neat applying the layers. I think it's because I'm conscious of it because I've got you guys watching me. Normally I'm a bit messy with my my base layers. I've just seen a bit of green in the hair that needed touching up. Back to my red. Finish that off. And the bow goes down there. Oops. On this side again. Just gonna get it in there. Okay, now the areas that I've got left, with the exception of a pants. Do you know what I'm going to do? A pants red as well. Lucky red pants. Like a PE shorts. Yeah, you just need to get over that, mate. The experience will knock that out of you. The thing that did it for me was I went from the same thing where I was trying to get everything perfect, I was trying to do everything properly. And then I realised that when I rushed through things and I cut corners, it made no impact on the end product. It's like the model still looked good and painted well in the finished figure, even when I hadn't spent all that extra time polishing it and cleaning it and getting everything kind of like, you know, completely 100% perfect on screen. And I think when you get to that realization, it will make life a lot easier for you. I'm gonna use the cape and stuff. Do I go into the... Alright, so we've got a colour here which is called Charcadoon Grey, which I think is a bit like, is it Dawnstone? I don't know if I want to use that, or if I want to use... I mean, that looks like it's the right colour. I'll use this. Yeah, that is the right colour. Definitely is the right colour. Yeah, so when you're painting and when you're sculpting the models, you don't want to drag them out longer than you have to. So you've got to kind of get them finished. So again, it's this whole principle of I was saying about when you charge clients. So when you're sorting out your client billing, never ever ever bill a client on an hourly basis. I've done it and it hurts. And then the better you get and the more effective and efficient you get, you actually get penalised for finishing your work faster. So there's no incentive for you to want to get better. So stick to job rate billing. And then what you'll find is when you start your sculpts, your incentive is to get that sculpt finished as quickly and effectively and efficiently as possible. And you're not going to want to spend 15 hours doing sculpts that you could be doing in like 4 or 5. And that is when you'll find you'll start kind of going, do you know what, I don't need to do that. I can leave that bit off. It doesn't matter and no one's going to judge you. As long as you deliver the end product properly to spec. Quite like this colour. There was a Citadel contrast paint. And I forget what it was called. Deneb Stone, was it? Something like that. I used to really like that, and it was pretty much this colour. I found it was a really nice base when you wanted to do like a fur or something like that. You want it to be like a warmer colour. You wanted to go grey, but you want warm grey. It's almost like a beigey stone colour. Whoops. First mistake. Get a bit of water on there and dab that off. Just flood that hair and get it gone. There we go. Fixed it. Ultimately, if you paint over an area you're not supposed to paint over, it doesn't matter. Just go over it again with the correct colour later. I just want to get my what was the colour called again? Mid boar hide, that was the one. Boar hide's what I'm going to use for these straps on the back of her legs, on the back of her boots. I could also use it potentially for the dark part of the non-metallic metal on the gold. When you're painting, paint the fronts, but also remember to get onto the top edges of the things. You see that okay? No, I'm off camera. Okay. I keep putting my brush down and it just rolls. Just on the other side of here now, there's like a drop where my there you go, that's how she's looking so far. Right, so next thing to do, let's go for the mid-tones. Or the dark tones, sorry. Do the greens first. Right, this time I want this to be thin, like that. Okay. Possibly thinner still. Start at the top. I'm going to brush downwards. Okay. On the ball here, same again. I'm going to go for the darker spots. Start at the higher points, brush downwards. What that's going to do is that's going to take the wet paint, or the watery paint, and it's going to deposit the majority of the pigment at the end of the stroke. Do a hair. Gonna add some dark green into her hair. Mostly going into like the deeper bits. On the underside of her hair here as well. And right up against the face where the skin touches it, I want the darkest green right in there. So it gives us the maximum contrast between the face. Sorry, get the light sorted. I want maximum contrast between the face and the hair. I'm just going to put some darker green in there. A couple in the... You notice I've thinned it right down. I'm not using it as a wash. I'm not flooding anywhere with it. I'm painting it in a controlled way. Onto leg armour, I'm going to give it another coat again. Starting at the top and brushing down. This looks the same again. If you find at any point you go over too far and you end up taking too much of the, putting too much dark in, you just go back over the lighter one. Simple. Hey Paul, how you doing? Okay, so brushes, I was chatting about them earlier. I have got absolutely dozens and dozens of brushes. The ones I'm using at the moment are a set I had from the Paul Bikini streams. Sorry Paul. Keller over on Twitch has suggested I should be doing Paul Bikini streams. So yeah, so the brushes I'm using at the moment, they're sable brushes, and these ones are the samples I had from a company called Golden Maple. So they're a Chinese paintbrush manufacturer, and I'm testing out different brushes because I'm pondering potentially putting together a line of paintbrushes. So I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to include in there. So I'm thinking at the moment I want a couple of good sable ones like this, and then we've got this this really nice set here of synthetics. A really nice set of synthetics. I think they're probably going to end up being a dry brush in there. Possibly a couple of like decent size, something like this one here. This number 2. So this is a number 2 synthetic. And that would be a pretty decent one. The Kolinsky ones, the golden maple Kolinsky ones, are really good. So this is what I'm using here now. I've been using these for a couple of months. They're still in really good nick. And I've got Winsor & Newton and Artist Opus brushes that haven't worn as well as these have. So yeah, they're a little bit. They are good quality. I'm impressed with them so far. Is all I can say on them. Now, I think if you go onto Amazon, I think Golden Maple actually sell their own brushes directly. So you can try the Golden Maple Sable brushes. For me, I mean, this is size 1, and the size 0 is good as well because it's got a good long bristle on it. But then I've got these like 3 zeros and stuff like that, and they obviously get a lot shorter. And the problem I always find with these ones is the paint tends to dry on them a little bit too quickly. So this 0 brush, which has got the nice long bristles, should be quite good for doing things like eyes as long as it holds its tip. Yeah, so I've got my Artist Opus one, and you can see the, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll bring this up to the camera with a tissue behind it. You see the tip's a little bit flattened off, it hasn't held very well. I mean, I've got a bit of paint in the ferrule as well, which is always a naughty, isn't it? It's a no-no. Yeah, I mean, I always used to as well, to be honest. And it's like, I mean, now I've started to even use, like, I've got like this like size 4. This is like quite a big one. I actually use this quite a lot on miniatures, just because it helps you get through them faster. I've started applying the same rules I use when I'm sculpting models as I do when I'm painting, which is basically use the biggest brush you can get away with for as much as you can, and then start dialing it down and going like honing it in, and you know, using smaller brushes and stuff when you need them. But yeah, for what it's worth, I do tend to find that most of my work these days is happening using bigger brushes. Kind of models do you normally paint, Paul? Let's do another glaze of another layer of the darker one on here to try and darken down the gradient on the ball. Now I am getting green paint all over the rocks at the base, which I'm just going to have to clean up afterwards, so that's not a big drama. Do a little outline around the outside here, just to darken off the edges where it meets. Non-Mortar 78, how you doing? Oh, is this Paul? Is this Paul on coming over to Twitch? Agreed. Do you know what? I'm not on camera most of the time. I could get away with it, I reckon. Although lately I'm trying to show my face on camera a little bit more often. Just so people become a bit more familiar with me. A bit more in here. Now, one of the things you'll notice here, I haven't mixed any colours. And I won't, probably. So my mixing's taking place on the model with the glazes. That's why I don't use wet palettes. You only need a wet palette if you're going to be mixing colours and you want to try and retain your mixes for longer. I just never get on well with them, I don't. And again, starting the paint is very translucent. So we're going to start with the paint in the area where we want the least amount of pigment to be deposited, and finish the brush stroke where we want the most to be. Because we're painting here with really thin paint, as you can see here. We might have to put 6 or 7 layers on to get the desired depth of colour. The bonus for that is each layer is a little bit less noticeable than you probably used to. So if you screw up, unless you screw up on 2 or 3 consecutive layers in the same way, you don't tend to notice it so much. So we're going to go and I need something darker than that Charcadoon grey, which I think is this wizard grey, according to my paint charts. So where are we at? It's not part of there, is it over here? Yeah, so we got on the white scale there, we've got white scar as the highlight, Charcadoon grey as the mid-tone, and then wizard grey as the dark tone. So on the tights, the cape and the shirt, we're going to go and use the bit of this wizard. Oh, this has got a bit of a earthy colour to it as well. I like that. I'm gonna try putting this back on again. This is autofocus. Let autofocus go again, and then hopefully it's not going to be a complete car crash. If it's making anybody feel sick because it's focusing in and out all the time as my hand gets close to the camera, do let me know and I'll turn it off again. So, oh, piss off. Mixed my grey and my green together. Okay, so decent enough. I'm going to come into the cape at the back here. don't want this pooling up anywhere. I'm not doing a wash and glazing, so I'm applying it topically. Like hemorrhoid cream. I don't know why I said that. The term topically just made me think of it. So I've never had to use hemorrhoid cream, I'm lucky. Touch wood. So I remember my brother needing it for he was buying hemorrhoid cream years back when he was having tattoos done. And there's a hemorrhoid cream. I don't know if it's available worldwide, but it's over here in the UK. It's called Anusol. And it's spelled Anusol. It's an unfortunate name, really. And he kept calling it anus hole. And not because he was trying to be funny or anything like that. I think he just genuinely got the name wrong. I forgot to paint the mid-tone on me. Oh god, I'm right off camera. Sorry guys. I forgot to paint the mid-tone on this. Joe, give me a second. Let me just grab another light, because I keep blocking the light source that I'm using, which isn't very helpful, is it? My paints are so terribly disorganised sometimes. Like, I've got all these paint racks in my office, and they're all empty. Because what I keep doing is I keep taking paints off my paint racks. And then not putting them back. So you went to the bathroom for a piss and just talking about brushes, and then you come back and I'm talking about hemorrhoid cream. I was just talking about topically applying paint, like layers of paint. As in, like, in a controlled manner, and not allowing it to flood the areas, but the term topically applied just made me think of hemorrhoid cream for some reason. The brain goes off on wild tangents sometimes, so. Okay, here's a funny one for you. So now, I wasn't really aware of this until fairly recently. I was talking to my wife about it the other day, and she just thinks I'm mental. But I realised the other day, when I close my eyes, you know, somebody says to you, try and picture something. If I close my eyes and I try and imagine something, there is no visual image there at all. It's like my own voice describing the thing. That sort of thing where somebody was talking about, like, when they read a book, it's like they close their eyes and imagine, and it's like, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? You'd think doing what I do for a living, I'd have a very kind of like vivid imagination, and I do have a you know, a good imagination for things, but I've just never really thought, like, my actual thinking process, it's entirely like verbal in my head. Like if I read a book, it's my voice reading the book in my head. Like doing all the voices of all the characters and stuff like that. And it's like, I've never really thought about it any differently. It's like you can't drink coffee if you're modelling, you get 19,592 ideas in 20 minutes and you don't know which one to pick. Easy done now. I'm going to paint the shades on this one here, just going underneath. So I'm going to darken up the underside of the leg. So the light source is coming from the top. I mean, does anybody else have this, or are you all like, you know, having all of your thoughts in, you know, widescreen, 4K, full colour? Yeah, I heard that one as well. But this is the thing. I mean, I have the voice in my head, but I don't have the pictures. And I can imagine there would be people who would have the pictures, but not the voice. I can't imagine anybody would not have either, because then you'd just be in, like, you close your eyes and it'd just look like you were dead. So, there's got to be something there, hasn't there? Yeah, so with this painting technique, what I'm doing is I'm using the different colours in their absolute unmixed state, and rather than mixing the colour with the previous colour and getting gradually lighter and lighter and lighter to do all the stuff, I'm just building up the gradients. We're saying colour. They need to start doing meth or shrooms or LSD, or a combination of the three. How do people who don't have a voice in their head read a book, though? Well, I imagine you would read the book and picture and visualize the events of the book. But again, I don't know if you have this, though, where if you were to read a book, do you see in your head the events of the book like they were on telly or something like that? Or are you just, you know, like me, just kind of like just reading a book in your head and kind of going through it all? So I find it really hard to follow books sometimes, because there's no visual kind of like connection to the words and stuff. I find myself reading, but then I find myself thinking over the reading, so that I'm talking in my own head over myself reading the book, and then I have to go back and read it again. Which, as I say it, it sounds bloody ridiculous. But I don't know if I'm just an absolute head case. What if this is like a common occurrence? I tried to explain it to my wife, and she was like, "You're just mental. What the hell are you talking about?" Yes, darling. Thank you for the support. Oh, piss! I'm painting off the screen again. Sorry, guys. Got my Do you know, you're not the first person that said that. But do they even diagnose you in your 40s? Or do they just go, "Ah, you got this far"? Ooh, I've just heard the printer stop. There's a little plinky tone. Yeah, I've had a few people tell me I've got ADHD. Never really occurred to me, to be honest, though. I do feel like I've gone more crazy since I've been working on my own now. Like I'm literally sat here all day with my own, you know, just myself for company. That might have tipped me over the edge. Oh, they do diagnose. How do you go about getting a referral for that kind of thing then? Do you just go to the doctors and go, "Doctor, I think I've got ADHD. Can you check me out, please?" Because there's one thing I want to go to the doctors and get checked out, which I know 100% I know I've got, and it's an issue called auditory processing disorder. I hate going to loud places, like pubs, bars, like loud restaurants and stuff like that. Anywhere where there's like music playing in the background. And then when we have family gatherings, and everyone gets together and everyone's having their own conversations and talking over each other and stuff. I end up completely zoning out. I literally can't hear anything. You can be standing there in front of me talking to me, and I'll be looking at you, kind of like trying to lip read and figure out what you might be saying, and it's draining. It is absolutely exhausting. And my wife just thinks I'm antisocial. I told her about this thing, and she's like, "Don't be bloody stupid." Oh, cheers, man. It's one of the reasons I like to do streaming, actually, because it's like I say, you guys become my you know, work buddies for the day. You know, it's nice to see who tunes in on any given day and come and keep me company for a bit. Let's go to White Star now. Do you ever do that thing where have you ever done it where you squeeze the paint and it's not coming out the end, and then you squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and at some point it just explodes everywhere. These ones with the ball in, actually, they can be a bit of a... If you shake it and you can't hear the ball moving, the ball can sometimes get stuck up in the top end up here, and it blocks the nozzle. The ideal world, you want the ball to be somewhere at the bottom of the paint pot. Now, one of the things you might find if you're trying to do these glazes like this is the when you are doing the glazing, your light colours, your whites are going to go really chalky. Now I'm doing something called feathering on this now, which is not the technique I was doing before. So I've applied a bit of the paint, and then I've got a wet brush, and I'm just literally just dabbing the edges of where I've painted with the water to smooth out that bit of white. Yeah, I mean, streaming for me, there was a couple of reasons for taking it up. One was a bit of company, because prior to this I was doing facilities management, and I spent all day walking around buildings and chatting to people and listening to their complaints about, oh, it's too hot, oh, I'm too cold, the tap's 2 degrees too warm and it's quite uncomfortable on my delicate hands. You listen to all these personal issues that people have got with the work environment, all these complaints and stuff, and I finished the day kind of like, you know, I've spoken to loads of people, I've burnt through my word quota for the day. Yeah, do you know, I've got one that I use for the paint bottles actually, and they are quite good. It's kind of like it's a bit like a needle, but one of the sides is flat, so you can kind of get it in there and give it a twist, and it's quite good for that. And I've got some airbrushes as well, so I've got some airbrush needles I could use as well. I don't know if you can see this or not, but to me I think this is going chalky. The top layer, the white bits I've just painted, I feel like they're chalky on top of the I'm going to have to come back in with my mid-tone just to turn them back down again a touch. Now, with the green, I think To avoid mixing greens, I might go outside of the Tooth and Coats range to find something that's more of like a jade colour for my highlight. Remote control for this thing. Here it is. Let's just have a look and see if. I think I've done all the white bits. A little bit on the chest, but I can't really get to that. It's a bit difficult. Now, one of the other things as well, when you're dealing with paints that go chalky, you get some stuff that goes on really matte, and then other stuff that goes on quite shiny and whatever else. You can obviously normalise it all out just by using a kind of a matte varnish at the end, and that will take away any of the shine off any of the paints and just leave you with a nice uniform finish across everything. Especially when you use different brands of paints, you end up with the oh, take it easy, man. Thanks for joining. I have to retire and go to bed to see myself as well, actually. Get up and take the kids to school in the morning again. I mean, what do you reckon, guys? Should I bother doing my own range of paintbrushes, or I was thinking about using them for the school channel. See if we can find a jade green paint. I've got paint coming out my bloody ears, I tell you. Not literally. That'd be a terrible medical condition. But certain colours I don't use a lot, you know, and greens are amongst them. And I think it's because I haven't got many good green colours that I like. Oh, and there's a colour here. I'm going to show you this colour, right? This colour actually pisses me off. It's called brown violet. Oops, what was that? So, this colour, it is called brown violet, but I know I'm colourblind. I will swear this is green. Am I wrong? Is that green? Or is that brown violet? That's green, isn't it? Like a khaki green. So where the hell do they get off on calling it brown violet? Sort yourself out, Vallejo. Right, now back to my mission to find a jade colour. I know I've got them. If anybody's got any good recommendations for some good, nice green tones, I will happily take recommendations. It is, isn't it? It's definitely green. I mean, look, it is neither brown nor violet, and I think if you were to mix brown and violet together, I don't think you would get that colour. I think they're gaslighting me. If you're wondering about the colour blindness, by the way, it's the colour blindness is a bit of a weird one with the painting. It kind of affects reds more than anything else. Occasionally I struggle with like yellows and greens, trying to figure out that, especially when it's like really bright colours. But thankfully most colours have the word green or red or orange or whatever it is written onto the bottle. So if I've got any doubt about which colour I'm using, I can usually rely on that. However, as we've just discussed, sometimes they throw me a curveball and they call them paint stupid names that don't have the actual proper colour in it. I found a colour I'm after. It's a foul green from Vallejo game colour range. That's the one I'm going to use for my highlights on my greens, because it's got that more like jade-ish kind of colour. It's quite significantly lighter than the base tone I was using, so still on my number 1 brush though. Haven't deviated yet. So I'll paint the actual strands of hair here. When you water it down like this, it goes on at say it's on about don't know, 30% opacity or something like that. So you're only applying 30% of a tint of that colour to the model in any go. So to get 100% tint, you're going to have to do like 3 or 4 coats to build it up. And every coat prior to that is having the influence of the previous colour still showing through. So this is why I say it's good from a point of view of being able to kind of like gradually kind of blend colours in together. I use this sometimes with you can get a really nice effect by using a purple as a shade tone when you're using like a teal colour or a turquoise colour. So you use like a like that kind of like, you know, even this colour actually that I'm using now, this jadish colour. You slam some of that down and then glaze your shadows in with purple. And the end result actually is really nice. I'm an idiot, by the way, because I absolutely should have done the face and the eyes before now. %, I should have done them. You can see as I'm going over the ends of the hair here again, I'm kind of going over areas I've already painted. And I'm kind of adding more and more of the lightness to it. I don't know why you can see this, guys, because I'm looking at this. I've got such a tiny window on my screen of this. I've got all the rest of the user interface, all the chat and the follows and sound equalizers and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with like the streaming kind of panes and things like that, but how well you can see this model on there. Let's get some glaze on here now. A bit of an edge highlight down as well. think for one of these characters, I'm typically averaging about 3 to 4 hours a model. Oh, dude, do you want to see what I'm actually doing here? This is ridiculous. This is. Let me switch my camera up. Just so you can see how stupid I look. How bloody difficult it is. Check this out. Oh, my camera froze. Is it froze? My camera's froze. Come on. I got a necromancy on the go. Come on, camera. Get playing up. You're normally so good. So well behaved. What's he doing? Oh, do you know what? My camera is playing silly buggers here. Let me just see if I can unplug it. I wonder if I disconnected it a bit. Why is it going? Oh, it's been a turd, man. Ah, there we go. It's back online now. Like so. I don't know if you can see here. I've got this camera here. I'm kind of sitting here with my chin on the camera. Got my paints here. I've got my chin on the camera. I'm trying to paint the model here like this. Looking at the screen, which is here. In a pool stream. Let me buff up a bit first. So I'm gonna flash a bit of 6-pack and get some tips in the jar. Yes, I'm basically like sitting here like this trying to paint, and my nose is resting on this bar. It's like got this armature bar thing here, like this. So this is my view, coming in over here like this. Like my nose resting on this bar here, peering over, trying to like see the model, and then also glancing up so I can see the screen, so I can see what's going on with it. So it is bloody stupid, but you know, needs must and all that. Content. There, guys. Yeah, no worries, mate. Okay, get yourself off the bed, mate. I'll tell you what, though, guys. If you guys give me a hand, get my Patreon up, So we're on like 600 followers, which was about 600 was about the peak I managed to get to before like COVID happened and everything. You can help me get up to 600 followers again. I promise you, I will buy a hot tub. I'll fit a little hot tub building behind my office. We'll do some hot tub streams for you. Yeah, I need 600 patrons to afford a hot tub and a hot tub building. I will probably not be streaming tomorrow, mate. Sorry, I've got a bit of stuff I need to get recorded for the sculpting course. I need to do a bit of I've got my scripts down and everything else. I've got some resources made. I just need to get the some editing done and a bit of recording finished off. So yeah, I won't be online with the stream tomorrow. I'll be around. I'll be on Discord if you're pinging around, mate. But do you know what? I was going to check your thing, weren't I, that you sent me? I don't think am I logged on to? Yeah, I am logged on to Discord. Oh, nice, mate. Yeah, great job. Yeah, he's looking badass, mate. I think if you go necromancer, I'd probably lean into the necromancer vibe a little bit more and just go for like from a character design point of view, just get some skulls and bones and things like that onto his clothing, so like get some motifs in there, just to kind of sell the idea that he's a necromancer from a glance. You can obviously do it with like just paint jobs and stuff like that. Just paint him in like purples and blacks and things like that, and yeah, having those little, skull pendant round his neck, and maybe have like a severed hand hanging off his belt, and some I don't know, a bone necklace or like a rib cage breastplate or something along those kinds of lines. Do you know what I mean? Something that kind of says, screams, I'm a necromancer. I don't know why he's got that voice. A very scary voice, is it? Oh, I'm a necromancer. I'm raising skeletons. Come back here, you zombie. Don't eat my brains, silly. bit I'm really not looking forward to on this girl, is all of that bloody oh sweet, let's have a gander. I ain't looking forward to doing all the gold. Mike, did you send it on ow, stabbed myself in the arm with a scalpel again. A lucky week with scalpels. Did you share it on Facebook, was it all? Oh, Discord. Oh, on the Lion Tail one, is it on? Oh yeah, got it. Oh my god, I see what you mean, man. He's awesome. Let me get him on screen here so you can see. This is the derpy character Clute was saying about earlier. He's got his pants on the outside, true to form for a proper superhero. Love him, man. While I've got the screen up here, I'll show you Louise as well. So this is the character who I'm painting at the moment. This is what she's supposed to look like. So get the skin done now. It's just about to turn midnight, so I don't know how much more I'm going to get done. Isn't he just, mate? I mean, we've had a few fails where we've been trying to nail down a style, and it turned out I think he was setting himself up as a studio, so we got a few like other artists working for him, and some of the characters were a bit of a miss, and it turns out they were done by other people in the end. So we've had to say to him, look, at some point you've got to come back and redo the ones that they did. So we've just had a bunch of them not redone now. Yeah, I'll tell you what, while I'm on, let me show you some of the ones coming up for the next phase of the game. So we've got the game as it is now, which is we've got 4 factions as part of the current lineup. So we've got the Court of Varland, which is like King Hector and his crew. Then we've got the Bazalian the Bazalian Exiles. So Corrado, his brother Roland, Lily, and Victoria. Then we've got the Nomads of Geisha, which are the Catfolk, Fina, Gil, Hannah, and then Taro, the Little Alchemist. Interestingly, Taro the Alchemist, let me show you him. He's one of my favourite characters. We bought some crochet plushies for my son Jacob. He's collecting them at the moment. We bought a bunch from Donkey Sanctuary Fun Day the other day, and the woman who was selling them, I had a chat to her. Yeah, I'm trying to find them, mate. I'm talking and I'm getting distracted and I'm forgetting what I'm doing. But yeah, so Taro. Where are you, Taro? So Taro here, this one, I showed her the picture, and I said, "Can you do him as a crochet plushie?" And she says, "Yeah, I'll have a go." So basically, I'm going to try and get some of these done. I think we can get them. I should be able to sell them like decent size, like a 10-12 inch plushie, crocheted for around about 20 quid, I think. So I'm gonna get it to make up a 1 or 2 kind of like sample ones, and I might put them up on a pre-order, see if anybody wants them. I imagine they'll go down quite well. He's quite a cute little anime character. But yeah, so the characters I wanted to show you. So the new ones we've had done. So the theme of the next set of Crystal Collapse is basically we've got yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, if you see the quality of the things that we bought from her that she'd made, they were really good. They were really tight. Everything was really kind of like, you know, professional looking. And I said to her, like, you know, if I need to order 100 of them, can I get them? And she was like, yeah, she'll be able to manage 100 of the same thing. So yeah, I want to see if she can do it, and then we'll put them up and we'll see how they go. Right then, so character-wise, the next set of models we're doing is Sky Pirates versus Valkyries, and then we're also throwing in the College of Magic, which is somewhere between Hogwarts and something like Black Clover or something like that. So we've got, where are we at now? So Sky, I've literally got camera rigs all in front of my screen and everything. So, right, the captain of the Sky Pirates is Captain Lumi. So she's again another like 12-year-old kid who is in charge of a group of pirates, and she has a giant enchanted teddy bear called Pinky Winky. Who's that one? And she rides around on his head. So we got Lumi and Pinky Winky. So they're going to be like 2 of the characters we got for the like the Sky Pirates. And then we've got this other character we've had done. This one's going to be our campaign exclusive. Where you at? Have you opened? Vorak the Furious. So we've got like a big Barrett-esque gun arm, obviously styled after the banger from Final Fantasy 12, was it? And these guys are going to be doing like aerial combat. So we've got aerial combat rules coming into the next version. So next up, then we've got the Valkyries. We've got one here with a spear. Got another one with a sword, but I can't find the picture of her. Ah, there she is. Love that one. So we have the 2 Valkyries. They're obviously flying enemies, flying characters. The Sky Pirate's gonna have. We're looking at trying to do like this time around. I've done like a mines set. So we've got like the mine terrain. So for this one, we're going to do like an actual airship, which will be a challenge. Be a challenge to print it. Sculpting it'll be alright. Printing it and assembling it's going to be the pig. And then we've got another 2 Valkyries coming. One of them at least is going to have like a big ass bazooka. Then I've got the mages. So we've got Stefano, who is going to be another tarot-like character. Let me close some of these down. There's Stefano. Another really nice bit of character art. Really kind of like different. So yeah, he's going to be a really nice little character that's probably going to get made into a plushie as well. He's actually the Dumbledore of the College of Magic. Then we have, where are we at? We've got our necromancer. I'm looking forward to sculpting her. She's totally different to anything we've got in the game at the moment. And then we have Wendy the Witch. There she is. She looks awesome as well. So she's like a wind witch, a wind mage. The other thing we're going to be throwing into this next one, we already included Ifrit in the first one. So the next wave we're going to be chucking in Barmut. So Barmut's going to get made, so we're going to be putting a big ass dragon on the table. So yeah, a whole bunch of characters there. So we've got about, I want to say, is it got 3 more Sky Pirates to do. Then we've got 3 more Sky Pirates, 2 more Valkyries, and 1 more mage, I think, 1 more wizard, and then all the artwork's done from all then. Now the nice thing is when we do the deck of cards now for Crystal Collapse, we've actually got all the artworks that every single card can have its own unique artwork, which is nice, which originally we didn't think we were going to do. But yeah, we've now commissioned enough artwork that we can actually do that. Let me switch back to me painty cam so I can crack on with painting a skin. Here's the challenging bit. On hands. Right, let's again come away from the tooth and coats range for a second. I've got a couple of nice pale skin colours from Ammo. So we've got the basic skin tone and light skin tone. So basic skin tone is actually, the skin tone I was just painting with was elf skin. So this basic skin tone is actually lighter than that, considerably. Now this time I think I am actually going to mix the tones because I think I'm going to end up with something that's too drastic here. Something's bothering me. There's like a hair. There's a hair stuck to her nose, it looks like. I think it's, you know, sometimes you get a little bit of a fleck of dust or something like that when you're priming. It sticks to the paint. I think I've got it. Much better. Go straight into that skin colour again that we're using, the basic skin. The high areas. So the skin, I'm going to take up just another notch with the light skin tone. One last little highlight on it. So, use a bit of this boar hide. No, that's water. Oh, crazy yours. Thanks for the Prime sub, mate. Appreciate it. Anybody else has got an Amazon Prime membership and you haven't done it already, you can go on to Prime. You can actually use your Prime membership to subscribe to your favourite Twitch channels, Twitch streamers. You get so much with an Amazon Prime membership, it's nuts, isn't it? You get Prime Gaming, you get your music. You get all your deliveries free. All your TV shows. Prime Gaming really surprised me actually, because they just, every so often they just go, here's a bunch of games you can have for free. And all you got to do is just claim them to your account and then they're just there for you forever then. I'll say forever. There's that whole drama at the moment, isn't there, about how you never actually own a game these days. It's getting a bit messy here, I'm just tightening it up. Not entirely sure if it's on screen or not. White and Doom Death Black. Oh, crazy! I appreciate it, mate. Thank you. So what colour eyes Louise have? Oh, Alex, you gave her green eyes. What'd you do up? There you go, guys. What do you reckon? I'm tired. I've just painted the eyes with a #1 brush. Has it been a success or? Cool. Good, good. Thank you. Let's get the eyebrow in with dark green. I need one because you can only see one. There you go. And everything on this model so far, I haven't even changed my brush for some reason. I've normally changed at least once by now, but I've done everything with this one brush. So again, this is the #1 Kolinsky sable from Golden Maple. Highly recommended. Okay, I want to do finish the blue on the clothes tonight, and then I'm going to call it done. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm going to be about 10 minutes behind you, mate. Not joining you in bed, obviously. This dark blue, ultramarine blue. Sorry, just marine blue. some lighter tone, which is Celestial Blue. Again from Tooth and Coats. Dab of that. I'm not using much of this at all because although the blue, when you look at her, actually the blue looks like it's quite a core colour. The reality of it is actually the blue is so confined to just her blazer. It's actually a very, very small part of the overall colour scheme. She's more green, white and gold really. Blue is just like an accent colour. I really don't feel like tackling the gold tonight, so I'm going to leave that. There we go. At midnight. She's almost done, so I'm going to crack on with the go. So she's looking at the end of session 1. Pretty happy with that. So next time round, maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure. I might do a little bit. In fact, I won't be doing it tomorrow because it's a Friday. We always end up doing stuff on a Friday night, but maybe over the weekend I'll do another little painting session of an evening. We'll get her finished off and then move on to Rosaline. And hopefully I'll have Ashitaka. Oh God, have Ashitaka and Tamara printed off ready for them as well. So there we go. Little Louise is nearly ready to rock. And guys, I'm going to knock it on the head and go to bed. So thanks for keeping me company tonight, and for the chit chat, the chin wagging. And I'm gonna go in the house and crash now. So cheers guys, thank you all, and I'll catch you later. Adios peeps.